have to be rich to enjoy, a lot of these things, and I don't think that's right. It's not what we grew up with. We used to be able to be a geek for, generally a very affordable way, and I'm kind of curious when that changed.
I'm not really sure. I think a big part of it is I think I watched something on San Diego Comic Con. Maybe it was last summer, and it just the how far it's grown from the first one, which I think was in might have been as early as 1977. Someone needs to search it up and please let me know about this either on Facebook or on Twitter or if Weem or Lazyner. If you guys want to go off and check it out for me, feel free to go off and do it. By the way, Lazyner did go off and just posted on a tweet on Twitter saying hang out with at Fizbash Show on air and composing a song at the same time. Song part is working out very well. Well, I hope you get that figured out there.
Well, hopefully the second part, hanging out with us is definitely working out for you. It's working out for us. But like, I really hope FanQuest is able to solve what I find is missing in conventions.
And I think, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely become very commercialized since when Comic Con first started in San Diego, uh, maybe 30, some odd years ago. And I think that's kind of where we need to kind of we need to get back in touch with that. And I mean,
Absolutely.
does this mean that you know we don't bring in the guests and stuff? I don't know. And again, I mean, we go off, we talk. I've mentioned it here a couple times. Winnipeg is literally the center of North America. If you look at the map of North America, Winnipeg is almost the direct center, which makes us a perfect location to hold conventions. We have tons of them. That doesn't necessarily mean that the conventions we have here are always the biggest, though.
See, I went last year to the Pop Culture Expo, which was a first year running, very low key event, and I met PJ Phil. To me that was a big memory because as far as I'm considered, it doesn't matter how much you spend. Like I spent, I think maybe $15 to see somebody I grew up with. Every morning after or every day after school. Turning on YTV, watching PJ Phil and all these cartoons. That was how I spent my evening. Before supper. So that to me was a huge thing, as well as many years back, at a car show, I went to go meet Henry Winkler, and it's those little things. It's and the fact that he was his stuff was locked in the room, so he wasn't able to do his autographs yet. So he's standing in the crowd, he's mingling with people, high fiving, shaking hands, having conversation. That's what we need to get back to.
And I think and that's part of it. And I mean, and from everything I've heard about Henry Winkler, he's always come across as being a really nice guy. I remember going off and meeting. There used to be a guy named Joey Aiello who lives here in Winnipeg. He is a radio announcer. I think he currently works for Kiss FM here in Winnipeg. But he used to have for those people who are wrestling fans, you may recognize the name Don Callis or Cyrus the Virus, or as he was known in WWE, the Jekyll. And they used to have a radio show called No Holds Barred. And what happened was Joey decided to go off and open up took a corner of a picture frames and more store and turned it into Jabroni's, a wrestling store where he brought in RF videos, which was huge to me as a wrestling fan. He also had wrestling titles and stuff, and he would go off and he would bring people in to go off and to do autograph signings. And I got autographs for the late great Bad News Allen, also known in WWE as Bad News Brown. I got autographs of Mike Whipwreck, the Sandman, Lance Storm, Steve Corino. amongst others from there. And those were, we didn't have to pay anything for those. It was completely paid for by the promoters that brought them in, and Joey Aiello, who obviously was using experience to try to sell some of his wrestling merchandise he had there. And those to me were some of the best experiences I've had, where I got to meet people who I idolized.
See, I think my greatest memory at a convention was actually the first year that you and I went. And the reason for that was because I met a guy who absolutely stood out to me as somebody I idolized, somebody I enjoyed watching, and that was Peter Mayhew.
Peter Mayhew,
one of the greatest moments of my life. I still have the picture, which actually after the show I will share said picture on our Facebook page. And this is like many, many years back. Our first time going to a convention, it was absolutely, truly the start of a journey for me.
That was really great. And we've shared some of our stories about that particular convention. I still remember I went incognito as my normal self, if you will, as a Jedi Knight. You were Darth Vader, and we got to meet a young boy who was dressed up as Jango Fett, who was in a wheelchair. And I'm not sure whether he made our day or more, if we made his day, or if he made our day more. But that's still probably my fondest memory from that convention. And I have not had. I think I look back at that as being my favorite convention. And I kind of wish I could have those same experiences, and I really would love to be able to have those types of experiences with my son, which is part of the reason why I'm, again, really looking forward to seeing what FanQuest is going to be all about. I'm really looking forward to, eventually being able to interview someone, and we will have more information about FanQuest as we go along, for sure.
Yeah, I've got so many plans this year of places that that I'm going to be. HorrorCon, February 11th and 12th. I'm actually going as Michael Myers, dressed in a suit. So that in itself is going to be awesome. Then there's a whole bunch of different ones this year. Pretty much everything that C4 is putting on this year, I will be in attendance one way or another. Unless, of course, I'm crippled, then I might just go as Professor X. And I think it's going to be a really, really busy year and possibly an expensive year, but it's also going to be a year worth remembering.
Yeah, absolutely.
And FanQuest is going to be that kicker.
We hope so. And, I'm going to just put this out there. I think 2017 is going to be a big year for the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping so. So, guys,
I think this is the year that Captain Fizz gets a better fedora. We're gonna we're gonna go fancy with the feathers, and we're gonna really stand out this year.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm probably gonna just continue wearing my Montreal Canadian wrestling mask, because I don't know what happened to my other one. I think I left it in Minneapolis, which breaks my heart.
This might be the year that Captain Fizz finds a new mask for the Mask Guy. Something that really goes boom.
Yeah. No. Erase that. Too late. Damn it.
So okay. Yeah, if you're in the Winnipeg area or even somewhere near us, definitely come check out Winnipeg in May 27th, 28th. I'm not sure it's the 27th, 28th, or 26th and the 27th, because I think the 40th anniversary for Star Wars is on May 25th, and that would be the day before FanQuest starts. So I believe FanQuest actually starts on the 26th.
Okay. We will make sure on that. We're going to have to kind of nail down this information.
Absolutely.
For sure. It's
still in the early.
Okay, guys, I don't know. This has been kind of a bit of a nostalgic episode for us. We're just kind of talking about the things that really have stood out and kind of made us, the geeks that we are, and damn proud of it.
The geeks that, now run their own podcast.
Go figure.
Which is listened to by almost 3,000 people. Yeah, just take a moment to take in that number. Yeah, That's a huge number.
Our podcasts have been uploaded 3,000 times.
Okay, May 26th to the 28th.
Thank you, Lazy Nerd. Or I think I'm just going to start calling you LN. It makes things a little faster.
Yes, and apparently William says he will be at that convention. He's going to start walking right now. He might get there in time. William, I will fund you. I will buy you the air pump to blow up a tire to a bike. I hope that gets your journey started.
Okay, then.
So, I guess shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs. Thanks, guys, for listening in. I just want to thank you to Lazy Nerd, to my wife, and to Weem for going off into interacting with us. If you guys ever want to go off...
And being very loyal listeners.
And being very loyal. Absolutely. I mean, you guys absolutely rock. If you guys ever want to go off and to join us in the conversation, feel free to go off and to do so. You can follow us on Twitter, and there will always be links to us. So, I mean, we'll start off, with, yours.
Yeah,
I guess.
We'll start off with mine. When don't we? So, at Real CAPT Fizz, so at Real Captain Fizz.
You can follow this local fellow at That Mask Guy. Follow the show at FizzMash Show. You can go, if you're really feeling a little nostalgic, you can go to our website, www.fizzmashshow.com. And there is the first 50-some-odd episodes of the podcast up there, plus links to all three of our Twitter accounts, plus a link to our Facebook page. And hey, if you're on Facebook right now, look us up, Captain Fizz and the Masked Man. I recently posted a picture of Fuzzy, who is the cat that we have to share our domain when we do our podcast. He is the one that if you hear me yelping, it's because he's digging his claws into my legs, or trying to bite my toes, or trying to hug Captain Fizz's PlayStation 3.
Or just trying to hug me in general.
He's a very huggy cat. So, and there is a picture of him actually cuddling with Captain Fizz's PlayStation 3 on our Facebook page now, so you can kind of see the white menace that we call Fuzzy.
Yes, the white menace.
The white menace. And so again, guys, thanks for listening. Again, thanks to Weem, Lazy Nerd, and to my angel for going off and joining us. Weem, I only have one more thing to say to you before we go off the air. Holly says hi to Jacob. You know what I mean. So in the meantime, and in between time, good night, God bless, and may the force be with you.
And as always, stay frosty, my people. Good night.
Good night.